From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Morreale and Hitch.
All right, welcome everybody to the 13th edition of the Morreale and Hitch podcast. I'm Mike Morreale, that's Rob Hitchcock, and today we got a really special guest there, Robbie. Got a, longtime friend of ours, longtime teammate, well-known around the city. Yeah. He's been supposed to come on for weeks, but we're going to land him now. We're going to get him now, I think.
Yeah, if he doesn't lose the connection, he might lose the connection.
Listen,
who knows?
If it's you and I, he'll lose the connection.
Yeah.
First time I've ever been able to say this. We have a sponsor.
Yes.
So let me read this promo item because I was told to do so earlier. So from now on, during Grey Cup week, the Morreale and Hitch podcast is presented by Swoop Airlines. So this winter, why don't you trade the parkas for palm trees? With Swoop, Canada's ultra not expensive airline, you can fly to the sun for less. Visit flyswoop.com to save big on flights. And I wouldn't mind a couple free flights right now to somewhere warm. I'll tell you that right now. That would be fantastic. Rob, awesome game on the weekend. Cats are in the Grey Cup. Special guest going to talk about his Grey Cup experiences and a whole bunch of other stuff. But why don't we talk just for 2 minutes about
Gregor?
2 minutes about what happened on Sunday.
2 minutes. Two. Well, I'll tell you, I had an opportunity to go to that game. I got the free tickets. That was good. Wasn't going to pay.
Did you go?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I brought my father-in-law, Wayne.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was good. We had a couple of road pops on the way down, and we got to the game. And I tell you, that first half.
Oh my God.
It was. Oh, let me start by. Forget the first half. Let me start by saying thank you to the Hamilton fans for supporting. There was more Hamilton fans in that stadium than there was Argo fans. It's a disgrace that there was maybe 10,000 people in there, maybe 10,000 from Toronto. Disgraceful, really? Toronto. I'm telling you, it wasn't full. It only holds, 23,000, maybe 24,000. Yeah. There was, in section 2 behind us, there was probably 4,000 seats wide open. Nobody in there, but black and gold throughout, all supported throughout the whole BMO field. And it was nice to see. It was louder when Argos had the ball, it was louder than with Hamilton. It was, I tell you, disgraceful, Toronto. That's all I got to say. Disgraceful.
Well, you know what's disgraceful is they went down the first, 2 or 3 times they had the ball. At least the first 2, they were within the 5-yard line. Both times settled for field goals. I turned to my wife. I said, they're not going to win this game. If you're not scoring touchdowns, you're not going to beat Hamilton. You can't win on field goals. At some point in time, Hamilton's going to turn it around. You know what? Let's not just you and I talk about it. Let's bring in the third party here. Yes, the 8-year CFL veteran, East All-Star, Grey Cup champion, number 89 in the program, number 1 in the hearts, the one and only, Mr. Andrew Grigg. Grigger, welcome to the
boys. Show. Appreciate you having me.
Welcome, Andrew.
Let's go. I'm at work right now in the office. Yeah.
You're at work. It's 9 a.m. You're usually done work by now.
There's your sponsor, so you can get me to sponsor you right now.
Yeah. Hey, that's right. Sponsor it up.
Speaking of this, Gregor, before we get into the game, we've been talking. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. We've been talking about Tim Beebs.
Yes.
For the longest time. Brilliant marketing. I still think there should be Hitch bits, but we're going to do Tim Beebs. And tell me what the hell is going on. Are these things flying off the shelf or what?
Dude, the thing is not even the Timbits are flying off the shelf. All the paraphernalia, the hats, the fanny pack, which is now back in style, which Carl Coulter never brought out of style because he still wears it. Anyways, they're in, and then the tote bag, and like kids my daughter's age, who's at first year Laurier, they're dying for this stuff, and I'm out of toques. I completely sold out all 3 locations. I called our distribution. They have none left. Every toque's gone, and whoever has one's lucky to have one. They're gone.
If we had them, we'd put them on for the show, but we don't have any of those yet.
Well, you should ask me before a day before the show, and then I might have got you something.
Well, we asked you 4 weeks ago.
So you watched the game, Grigor. I'm assuming you watched the game.
100%.
Give me your thoughts. I mean, first of all, before we get into what the Cats did, just give me the thoughts about the feeling, the playing in the Eastern Final, chance to play in the Grey Cup. We never had that opportunity. I mean, we were to play in the Grey Cup. Imagine playing in your home market. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it'll be insane. There's no doubt about it. I mean, and good for those boys. I was a little bit scared against Montreal when they didn't play all so well offensively. Their defense stood up, and again in the first half, defense stood up again. Right, like you said earlier in the show, there you can't win with field goals in the playoffs. And when they got up 12-0, I turned and looked at my wife and said the same thing and said, "This should be 28-0. Like this will be a blowout."
Yep.
And then we come back, we score in the very first part of the second half, a punt return for touchdown, and it's lights out after that. We just broke their back right there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you, the fans were after that first series, and again, we're not talking about any player here, but we're gonna say his name, Mazzoli. I love him. Honest to God, I do. I think he's a franchise quarterback, but there was a lot of rumblings going on in the stadium where I was, a lot of Ticat fans around, and when Coach O, they pulled him and put Evans in, and he went 16 for 16 for 240 or something. It's so nice to have that backup, because we had Danny Mack and Ledbetter, right?
We were.
That was about the same, wasn't it? That was about the same.
I'll be honest. Kudos for O having a short leash.
Yeah.
He watched them struggle the week prior. And you know what? And I've watched him play all year. And you look at Dane. When Mazzoli got hurt, Dane became a starter. Dane gets hurt, Mazzoli becomes a starter. You couldn't really put Dane back in. He was throwing for 300 yards, 300 plus yards for 4 or 5 straight games. Like,
Agreed.
You can't replace that.
No.
But I just noticed with the deep ball he's throwing, it really looks like he's, I don't know, maybe there's an underlying issue there. He's maybe banged up that we don't know about. Who knows? It just seemed that he was struggling with the deep ball and struggling with his momentum in the pocket. And, kudos to O for having the short leash. And you know what? Dane struggles this week. We got a guy you can go back to that's played a lot of games.
Yeah, that's a nice problem to have. I mean, the ball's on O to do that. That was big.
Nope.
That was a big move.
Oh, it's huge.
The play
early.
Like
second series, third series.
Not just for like a series or two, like you're in. And I mean, when you go 16 for 16 and you start that way, the play of the game, no doubt in my mind, is what Dane Evans did at the end of the first half on that fumble, and then that fumble return and he stripped it back. That was the play of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and I agree. The only thing I was screaming at O through the TV screen, I wanted him to throw the challenge flag.
Yeah.
Because we were in field goal range, right? So the guy was on his way down being tackled when the ball comes out. If they would have recovered the ball, I'm sure O would have thrown the challenge flag, because you got nothing to lose going into the half, right? I mean, you got nothing to lose. This way, you have the ball and still nothing to lose. So we actually, literally, if we would have thrown the flag and they would have replayed it, and we were on the ground there, we could have kicked a field goal winning at 12-3 at half instead of 12-0. That was the only predicament I was in from a coaching standpoint, was I would have thrown the flag just to see if we could get our field position back.
I hear. Yeah. What do you got, Hitch? Your camera's all fuzzy today. What the hell's going on?
Yours is fuzzy.
You're fuzzy.
No, mine's clear. Yours is fuzzy. Andrew's is clear. Honestly, yours is really fuzzy. What's happening? Fuzzy.
It's because of this stupid Zencaster thing we got to
do. Hitch got to come back from the Bills game at 4 a.m. That's why.
Look at that stupid face.
Hold on. Hey, Pre, can you come on for a second?
Oh, yeah. So, Gregor, here's the backstory. So our boy David Butko here. This is Louis B's brother, but, younger brother.
Okay.
So he was telling us a couple weeks ago, he was getting ready to go to the Toronto Argo game against
Edmonton,
the last game of the season. So he was doing a pre before. And you know how when we grew up, it was like you pre-drink. Now it's just pre, and you just fill in the blank after. It's just one line. So it could be a multitude of things. So anyways, this is the reason for David being on. Did you pre this morning, David? Because that would make for a hell of a better show.
This morning, it's 9 a.m.
Exactly. So, yes or no?
A lot of guys pre. Well, as Gregor pointed out earlier, what is with the Tums on your desk?
Yeah.
Oh, rough.
There's a big thing of Tums.
See,
it's the coffee addiction.
That's right. So right now, I know we don't want to get onto this. We don't want to keep our guests waiting too long here and talking about stupid screens. But why now your screen, David, is all fuzzy? Something's
that's
wrong.
that's what happens when you talk over the internet.
Okay. Well,
Well,
you know what?
brilliant answer, David. Thank
Okay, you know what?
go
You
back
can
now.
you can beat it now. We'll
Yeah,
talk to you after.
You can beat it. Grigger, I got to tell you something, buddy.
Yeah.
I got grigged last week.
Hmm?
Week and a half ago. I got grigged, and I'll explain it to you what that means. So
Okay.
I show up for the East semis at the stadium. I come from a 50th birthday party the night before, so I'm not feeling the best, and I
Right.
got a roll in there. Now, mind you, it's 11, but still, at our age, as you know,
Yeah.
it's not good. So I rolled to the stadium to do this pregame stuff with Hitch and blah, blah, blah. And we do the hit, and it's still like an hour or so before game time. And I look around there, he's all going downstairs. Him, Courtney Stevens, Luke Tasker, Andy Fantuz, basically everybody but me to run through the tunnel with the jerseys on to lead the team up. I'm like, I got grigged. I said, that's what happens to Grigg all the time.
Yeah.
I got grigged. What the hell is going on?
I actually seen the picture on social media there, and I was looking for you, and I didn't even see you.
No, I didn't even get the invite. What in the hell?
You didn't want to take any of the puff out of his parade. That's all.
Oh, look, eh?
Yeah. Well, hey, Bubs was a little embarrassed.
Too? There's no way Bubba ran out. Because if Bubba ran out, I quit. I quit everything if Bubba's running anywhere.
He's like, yeah, what'd he say during that little gig we were doing? He's like, oh, can't wait to see you and Hitch go around. No, he's not going out.
Yeah.
He's not going out. Oh, my God.
Brutal.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to my world.
I got grigged. That's all I'm going to say.
So, Grigger, thanks for coming, buddy. We're going to talk about your little career right now because it was an 8-year awesome career. I was looking up some stats the other day. I had them written down, but of course I can't find them. But from off the top of my head, 8 years, an Ironman for the last 6 years, buddy. You didn't miss a game for 6 years.
Look at him.
Awesome. Look at them. He's just a special
Ice from
man.
the inside out, boys. That was the key.
Yeah. And come from the Sioux.
Yep.
Drafted in 95 along with myself. And Mike was already drafted the year before in 94 to BC. So we came into Hamilton together, and maybe just share a little bit with our 17 listeners about how you.
That's a good day.
It's a good day.
17. About how they tackled you in center field and cut your hair.
Yeah, your journey. Maybe give us a little how you came into Hamilton and you know who you met.
I played at Ottawa U for 3 years and then flunked out.
Nice.
And actually went back home and was taking courses to get back into school and was playing junior football and became a Canadian, all-Canadian in the OFC, which is basically the Hamilton Hurricanes, that league. And came on as a walk-on in April 2nd of 1995, and signed a contract there with Sudsy, and never looked back. Never moved back home, never left the city, and been here ever since.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing that maybe a lot of people don't know because they're not in practice every day. Nobody worked harder in practice than Andrew.
I had to.
Nobody worked harder in practice. But no, that attention to detail, the fact that I think every one of us, certainly I felt this way. I don't know if Hitch felt this way. I thought like I was going to lose my job every year. Every year I thought I was going to lose my job. But you treated every practice like you were going to lose your job.
Well, yeah, because for us back in those early 90s days, and even in our good years in the early 2000s or late 90s, you didn't know who was on the waiver wire from day to day. And I always felt that we're in a good group of guys here. Yeah, I'm playing lots, but I'm 2 drop passes away from being in Saskatchewan. Yep. Right, and Lancaster would always make you feel that way. At least for me, it'd always make you feel like you had to work because the minute you took a minute off, you're out the door. We've seen Sudsy do it. To a guy that pointed at his belly button and laughed at him, and he cut him the next day.
Hey, it's a pretty messed up belly button. Who's kidding who?
That was too cob, I think.
You could drink soup out of it.
See you later.
It was a cup holder.
But
Sudsy, his best line, I think we said this earlier in our shows that I loved it. It was just hey, you guys aren't going to work the QEW. Just get on the QEW and go home. That's it. Like, take it down, get down to the I-90 and go home.
It closes every once in a while, the QEW, though.
Only
Yeah.
at training camp time.
Only at
Just
training
for
camp.
It closes both directions.
Closed both directions. I can't get home. There was somebody on our team that did that. He might be on this show. That was one of the funniest things ever, eh? I can't make it. I'm so sorry. It's both highways are closed.
Thank
so we can hang out.
Hey, thank God there was no iPhones at that particular point in time, buddy. Just the old flip phone.
We could have never lived in this day and age.
No, you're darn right. Hey, we were talking the other week about Bundy and how you and Hitch worked for Bundy, and he was the first guy to have cell phones, and he killed it. I'm sure he's still killing it. But think of Bundy spent some time in both Hamilton and Toronto. You spent all your career in Hamilton. So did you, Rob. As you know, I'm the guy that still hears it from people for going down the street. But think of the characters that we played with, and we're speaking about Grey Cup. We're talking about getting ready for. Last time Cats have had a chance. Last time the Grey Cup was won in Hamilton was won by us three right here, and everyone else on the team, and that was quite the experience. What's the chances? What's the chances against Winnipeg and an O'Shea and a Kyle Walters and a Danny Mack led team?
Well, you've seen the email Kyle Walters sent about 3 minutes after the Western semifinal, the Western final. It was like, we just like to keep it the 99 Grey Cup being the last team in Hamilton. They know it's going to be a different game for them. I think for me, we stop the run, we're going to have a good chance. But they're a big, strong defense. I don't know how many points it'll be up. I'm betting the under, but that's just me.
Yeah, they got both teams have phenomenal defenses. So it's depending on the weather. Looks good. I think 2 degrees or something. It's supposed to be Sunday.
3. You're paused there, Meatsy. You got a big pause.
Yeah, you're paused. Bree's got to get this. Yeah, we'll get him back. But yeah, I think it's going to be a defensive battle. Special teams is going to, if the offenses are struggling a bit, which I anticipate with the jitters and get those first couple series. I don't know about for you guys, but when I played in the Cup, it took us that first hit. And I don't know what it takes you guys running down the field. Was it take a first catch or two? But for us as defensive guys to run down on that kickoff or make that first tackle, you're back in the game. But for you guys, it might be a bit different. Is there something different?
I think. Well, for the first Grey Cup in Winnipeg, there was a lot of different emotions going on out there. We practiced when it was minus 30, and your breath was hanging off your cage to. A clipper coming through and us playing at minus 2, minus 1, whatever it was. So there was, do I stay warm? Do I not stay warm? Do I wear sleeves? Do I not wear sleeves? That old kind of game you play. And then once the game started, to me, it was just like, it's, you never thought of it being, okay, we're on national TV, 30,000 people plus the rest of the country watching you play. I never thought of it that way. But it was a more nerve-wracking. Going into BC place for the 99 Cup, they didn't have a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance did they have. Like, they must have known deep down inside we're going to get pumped. Yeah. I mean, we didn't pump them, but we pumped them good enough.
Well, I'll tell you why, guys, and you guys, when we lost that game in Winnipeg, we looked at each other in that look, and we pretty well had the same team the next year. And we went into training camp, and I remember all of us talking about that, having a beer, and just saying, this isn't going to happen. And from day one training camp, that was our mission, and we did it. It was awesome. What an awesome year.
You know what, to be honest, and if you watch TSN, and they always do these Grey Cup previews, and then they show other games. I can't remember the last time they've showed the 99 Grey Cup game.
No,
I know.
They don't. And you look at commercials, they got you running out with a bunch of kids with the cup. That's it. Like, no highlights of that game. Flutie catching, doing the Batman in the end zone, catching a touchdown in the corner. We get no love, guys.
It's still early.
Love from anybody. But at the end of the day, we get the love from ourselves, right? We had the 99 Grey Cup reunion there that I ran a couple of years back. That's what it's all about. I mean, my phone's been blowing up all week. I got Mike Campbell. I got Mike Philbrick. I got all these guys calling me. You get tickets. I go, dude, just talk to them about tickets. But yeah, no, they all want to do something, right? So whether it be at a bar or something like that, that's the love of winning Grey Cups. We don't get any love through the media ever. I mean, they haven't even talked about it this week. You would think, okay, the last time they won was 99, then they would actually preview our team somehow, somewhere on Sportsnet or whether it be TSN. Nothing.
I think you're going to see one of the games being played. It's got to be 99. They have to show it because
they're going to show the 86 because it's their anniversary.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's a great game.
Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, I'm not bitter about it. I just, it's.
You are.
I am a little. I'm not bitter at the Cats. I'm bitter at the media in general not giving us any love. It's almost, and if outside of the 12-5-1 record that we had the year previous, yes, the 15-3 Cats that went to the Grey Cup a couple of years ago had a better record, but I don't know if there's a better team in football with the Mumfords, the Tiggles, you in the back, and then us offensively, Danny McFlutie, Carl Coulter, Dave Hack. That team alone is got to go down to one of the top 5 or 6 teams in CFL history, if you ask me.
Yeah. I agree. Do you think, though, for a minute, let's look at the 98 game. The 98 game sucked for us because we lost, but it was a good game. Came down to the final kick on the final buzzer. I almost get the feeling like we did ourselves a disservice because we beat them up too good in 99. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we pulled away so quick, although they came back and chipped away near the end. But we had that game in control from
no one was
a week, 2 weeks before we knew we were going to win that game. I wonder if the Cats this year feel the same way we did then. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think they got. I looked at it as okay. We lost to Calgary and went back and beat Calgary.
Yep.
They lost to Winnipeg. Yeah, we had a COVID year where we didn't have a football last year, and now they're coming back. They're not going to let it happen twice. I think they got too many good veteran guys in that locker room. The Van Ziels, the Simone Lawrences, the too many veteran guys to allow it to happen again. It'll give you a good game, but I think that they pull it out. I really do.
I agree, Gregor. I thought of that the other day as well when we beat Winnipeg and when we beat Calgary. It's the same scenario, but the only difference is Hamilton is playing at home, and that's added pressure to those guys. And I tell you, we would have loved the opportunity to play at home, but I'll tell you, it's got to be a bit nerve-wracking because there's going to be the majority of the fans are going to be Hamilton fans there, right? So it's going to be tough. It's going to take a few series, I think, to get moving, but I hope they do it.
I don't know. They got a whole different quarterback that they're going to have to prepare for now, right?
Yeah.
They haven't seen Dane since what week? Well, they haven't seen him yet this year, right? No. I mean, week 1 it was Mazzoli, and that's the only last time that they played. So
I'm sure they're going to go back to the Grey Cup 2 years ago.
Yeah, of course they will. But I think we're a better offensive team than we were 2 years ago. I think up front we're a little bit more sound than we were back then, and I think defensively right now we're on the highest of highs. I don't know if I've seen outside of our defense in '99, which played awesome, or that whole defense 98, 99 guys in, guys out. I don't know if I see a better defense out there, defensive front. I mean, Winnipeg's got a good defensive front, but I'll tell you what, man, Jaguar Davis is a stud.
Listen, him turning and running on that wheel route.
Did you see that?
Like
what an athlete.
Played that to perfection. That's
a D end.
I know.
Covering a running back out of the backfield. It was insane.
That wasn't
just
planned.
Head around at the right time. Use the right
the
hand
arm up inside to knock the ball out.
Crazy.
I know. He's a crazy player, man.
Oh,
I was going to say that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that was not. We had Philbrick and Campbell drop into coverage before.
No, we laughed. They just want to kill people.
We laughed our heads off.
They watched the replay, and I watched it on TV, and it looks like that was his responsibility.
Yes.
If not, it was an amazing play because there was nobody else there to cover him, or it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
But just an amazing. I just how he spun, turned his hips, and he was gone.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, listen, it's the Morreale and Hitch show here. You're listening to Andrew Grigg, Rob Hitchcock, and myself, Mike Morreale. And listen to the Ticats audio network all through a Grey Cup week. As in partnership with Swoop, we're giving away 2 amazing prizes, a pair of Grey Cup tickets and a pair of round-trip flights to anywhere Swoop flies. That's what's on for the fans as they're listening today. Lots of stuff going on for Grey Cup. Great matchup. We talked about the people on the field, the people behind the field that we went to battle with, the Kyle Walters, the Danny Max, our Grey Cup run in 98, 99. Those are memories you can never, ever forget. And I look around, the difference between winning and losing is so small, and it changes your whole experience beyond that point. If we didn't win 1999, we would be the most miserable people thinking every single day about what happened in 1998. So that's, to your point earlier, Drew, this is what I think too. Like how that's got to resonate in the back of their mind, what happened in 2019. You got to correct the wrong. This is their chance to correct the wrong. They're at home, for God's sakes. Yeah, it'll be stressful, but it'll also be stressful for the Bombers to come in and not be able to hear the snap count and do all this other stuff. The weather's looks like it's going to be good.
They'll have the leaf blowers out for noise.
We talked about that. That was classic. Eh?
We've got gas, quite a few, buddy.
Oh, gas is in our fumes.
Smoke smell.
Oh, hey, Dennis Bobolo behind holding the big thing can barely hold it. And he's got the gas going into the huddle.
Blew right over.
Oh, Bugsy, Bobolo, and Shaggy.
Oh, listen, Shaggy called me yesterday. Oh, and so Shaggy calls me all the time. So, I gotta, every so often I got some time. I can't always answer the phone to Shag, but he's all pumped. He's coming home December 8th. He's ready to see the boys. He's got his East Final 2013 shirt on. He's sending me pictures. He's ready to go. He's going to be part of history. But you look around the fan base of Hamilton, man, people are pumped.
Oh, yeah.
People are pumped. And it's good to see. It's been a long time coming. So it's let's see if they can pull this darn thing off.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much of a blow up this team is and where guys are as far as free agents. I haven't even looked at that. And the big elephant in the room is your head coach and rumors where he's going and, all that sort of stuff so it's an now or never, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're getting it again in 2023, but are we going to be the same team in 2023?
You can't keep that. You know what it's like. It's hard enough keeping guys year after year. A couple more years, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, those 3-year $20,000 contracts we signed, they no longer exist.
No.
Hey, how many? This is a good question, and I should have done some research on this, but I didn't.
You think?
How many players were on that 2019 Grey Cup team? It's a big change. There's a lot of new players that are on this squad. That
agreed, but I think because of COVID, there was that break of guys that didn't come back and whatever. But I think for the most part, like I spoke earlier, it's your solid guys, right?
Yeah.
Simone Lawrence is still here. Jaguar Davis is still here. You got your what's the defensive lineman Wynn and was there?
Hauser, Van Ziel.
Yeah, I mean,
both quarterbacks.
There are, Mike Campbell's, Mike Philbrick's, Jeff Cummins guys, right?
No.
I
think they have enough. They got enough in the core right there. You're right.
And to top it off, our Canadian DBs, when they get in, are playing lights out, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not missing a boat there.
No. That's awesome. Well, I'm so looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a great week, and the festivities start tomorrow. I think opens up tomorrow night. But Grigger, I think we got a little alumni thing on Friday.
Friday.
We're doing together. That's going to be a lot of fun. Mike is not going to be joining us this weekend. He is in Where am I allowed to tell you where you're going?
Nicaragua.
Yeah, am I allowed to? Am I allowed to say it?
Yes, don't even try. Nicaragua.
What are you doing in Nicaragua?
Yeah. We're playing. We got international games against Puerto Rico and Nicaragua, so I'm leaving on the 10th.
So it's basketball. You're not going there on vacation.
No, not taking a trip to Central America just for fun.
Oh, hey, that's good. Then you can come back then you come back in quarantine for like 28 days.
Oh my God, this whole thing's a disaster. This whole thing's a disaster. But I'm looking forward to that. I got hooked up so I can be able to watch the game. I got my AV guy gave me this special box. I can watch the game and do all that kind of stuff. On this show, Grigger, we spent the first 12 episodes talking about some of the stupidity and some of the great people we worked with or played with or hung around. But I need you to help me out with some of these names on the list, because we mentioned Shaggy, we mentioned Billy Ray, we've talked about Side Door Gary, Bugsy, Electric Joe, Mike the Cable Guy,
Mike
Cripsy. We got three. We didn't mention Cripsy yet.
Remember that they had the fight, Cripsy and Shaggy.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of the locker room,
right in front of us.
Yeah, right. We made them.
Yeah, we're throwing money on the ground to see who wins. It's almost as bad as the Skittles trick.
Oh yeah, no. We've gone through a lot of instances.
Hey,
It's been fun.
Speaking about Skittles, Gregor, we talked about this in depth, Meatsy and I, about some rituals and some stuff that we used to do on the road. Just tell our listeners what you and Ozzy used to do on the road. As soon as you got off the plane, you guys had you were going right to a spot in every
right
city.
To our room first and foremost.
Yep, let us know your stuff.
Rock, paper, scissors to see who's going to get their ass out of bed to answer the door for room service. Rock, paper, scissors, who's going to pay for it? And I had to do all this while Ozzy was naked.
Yeah. And then what did you do? Where did you guys dinner wise? And then because we talked about how when we used to go with you guys, and we only went a few times.
We went to Montreal. We go to the Coup de Cheval, right?
Oh, beautiful
restaurant. Me, Ozzy, and Cooler went there, and I always remember the bill because it was $902.11, $902.11 for three of us to eat the day before the game.
And Cooler had a salad and a water.
It might have been the $200 bottle of scotch that got thrown in the middle of the table and the 5-pound lobster, and right before we went and kicked the
good old days.
Yeah.
But
this is
we had
the stuff.
as you know, we played crib on the planes, and if you got skunked, you had to bark. If you got double skunked, you had to crawl up the middle of the aisle barking. And listen, for those listeners that are listening, we are not chartered. We are with everyone else. Yeah. So you got grown men going to the back of the plane, getting on their hands and knees and barking like dogs all the way up because they got double skunked in cribbage.
How about Dave Hack, who gets double skunked and goes about halfway up and then lifts his leg up and like he's peeing on somebody, and they're looking at him like he's just like, oh god,
these are normal. Like we're supposed to be grown men on a normal commercial plane acting like absolute
lunatics. But you know what? That's what made us good, man.
Oh god, yeah.
And there was what I loved about, and I always talk. My son plays University of Ottawa now football. And I always talked about how his locker room is. He goes, Dad, we're all young and we all get along. And I said, there's one thing I could say about our locker room. There was no division ever.
No.
Right? After rundown, everybody backs up their trucks. My wife thought rundown would end at 6 o'clock every day. Because it ended at 10 in the morning. And then we would go from 10 until 4:30, 5 o'clock drinking beers in the parking lot. Like a bunch of fans. And we were genius. We're fans of each other, and that's why we did it, man. We're our biggest fans.
Never mind, we play a game, we'd go to Brian Timmis, sit in the dugout for a bit, catch up, figure out what we're going to do next the rest of the night. There was always something on the go. Back to the plane, I remember Philly was the best. Imagine you're a normal human sitting, in the window seat and then the aisle seat, and the middle seat's open, and in walks Mike Philbrick, about 6'5", 300 pounds, with his ticket dangling in the air saying, lucky winner, 21B. Who's the lucky winner? Walking down the aisle, and people are going, oh, dear God. Dear God.
Buddy, our plane ride, and that plane ride home from the Cup.
Oh, my God.
When we... I think Bev had a few cocktails before anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie's wife, but I'll tell you, that was a hoot.
Yeah.
It was a hoot. I must say, even the 98 trip home was a hoot. We weren't in the best of moods, but, seeing Val St. Germain going around on the baggage carousel, through the back.
That's the reason why he was in Edmonton the next year.
Because his head was laying on Ronnie's baggage. It didn't go over well when he rolled around through there.
Meatsy, you got to explain it. You got to explain it, though, what he did, because just explain that. That is one of the best ever.
When the baggage carousel comes out, it enters through that little door and it goes in a little S and whips around. Doesn't Val St. Germain, and a beast of a man.
Oh, yeah.
Like the hairless Yeti, like a beast of a person. Looks like gets on the thing and basically lays down. We had lost at this time, so we're not in the best of mood, but Val wanted to lighten the experience. He sits there, lays down on the conveyor belt, and it goes around in circles, goes into the back around, and when it comes back out again, he's laying on Ronnie's baggage, and Ronnie's not a happy camper. He pulled that baggage. Val wasn't there next year. Val never won the Grey Cup. No, with Edmonton. Well, at least not with us. And he went to Edmonton. But I made this comment about Ronnie before, and I don't know, because I think everybody has a different experience with Ronnie. My experience with Ronnie was interesting because there'd be those days where he would be the nicest guy in the world. And, hey, Mike, how you doing? How's the family? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then the other 90% of the time, he'd walk by me and not say hi.
Oh, yeah.
And you never knew what you got with him. Like, you're always on your toes.
It's funny you tell that story because I tell a almost identical story when they ask me, well, how was he like a coach? I go, well, he's always well respected as a coach, and you never fooled around much with him because he was a bit of a stickler. He reminded me of my dad a lot, like, being a police officer by the book. So I was okay with it. You're right. You'd be having a few butts, but you're right in the middle of parking before you address us. But he would walk by you some days, like on a Tuesday at practice, and be like, hey, Andrew, how's it going? You'd catch you off guard. He'd be like, good, coach, how are you? And literally 25 minutes later or the next day, you wouldn't even get a hello out of him. So
the one thing about Ronnie and we talked about this. Toes. Yeah, the one thing about Ronnie, and we talked about this, is the day one when he came in and he brought all of us in, like 6 or 7 of us in, veterans, and said, our coaching staff will not be in the back room. You guys are police in the locker room. Yeah. And that's what made it. Because when we were 1-17, or whatever the heck we were in 97, 2-16, I don't even know what we were, but that next year when Danny Mac, Flutie, and Ronnie came in, they brought that culture. They brought that different look that we didn't have those first couple years. Mind you, we were a decent team.
I think I said that, Hitch. Like, yeah, let's not sell ourselves down the river here.
No, we were a good team. We found ways to lose.
Because we went through 5 offense coordinators in 3 years. I was sick and tired of learning new offenses, but on the defensive side of things, look, we went 2-16, and I think of those 16 games, we had like 48 points scored against us.
Yeah,
like the differential was 48 points. We weren't getting blown out of the water. We just couldn't put the ball in the end zone offensively, and hence the reason Danny, Cooler, Darren switches us around, right?
Yeah.
Listen, Greg, in 96, 97, we must have had 11 quarterbacks that year. You were lining up literally to play quarterback in the last game.
Dude, that's before Lancaster came in. The Fog Dog was our quarterback, and he was drawing stuff up in the sand, in the dirt. Grigger, just give him a hook and go here. Morreale, go over here. He was running his own stuff in the huddle. While Blackwelder was our offensive coordinator.
I forgot about him.
He missed a flight coming home from Edmonton. Wasn't even on the flight.
I forgot about there's when you play with so many people and donkeys that you just can't remember everybody. Just we told the story that Flutie thought Wozchuk and Robichaux was their one name, their Robichuk. Like that's the way it was. Roby got so mad at me. I told that story. He got so pissed off at me. But we've told the stories about all the good stuff. We've tapered it down obviously a little bit. But we talked about being in the huddle with our boy number one and the hot garbage breath.
I turned the other way in the huddle. I turned like this. He directly across from me, but 5 guys away, and I could smell it. Face melting. Hot garbage.
Hey, Grigger, who had the belt? Remember we made the belt?
Oh, that's Montressa Kirby.
Oh, he earned it. He
earned that belt.
Spent the week. That was Grey Cup. That was 99. That's after we spent the week in
it's Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
I
remember we had to practice on that outside field. And Ozzy got down, and the grass was about this long.
That's when they brought out the. Didn't they bring the players out? Didn't who was it that wanted to?
Oh, that was Winnipeg. That's when Jimmy. That's when Hacker went crazy. Remember Marshall brought up the University of Manitoba kids, and Jimmy went crazy.
Oh, that was the year after me.
That was the year after. That's right.
Yeah, that was 03.
Ah, it was. Holy cow.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know, Andrew, you didn't stop playing because you weren't good enough. You stopped playing because you faced a decision of, I got this opportunity to go and make the rest of my life set with Tim Hortons. And that must have been hard, man, for you.
Well, I fought it for probably 03, 04. I fought it hard. Like, I went to our head office and basically begged to say, hey, listen, I'll go to the stores every morning till noon, but I'll go to practice for one, just like Philbrick used to do, right? Wandering at 1 o'clock. And they wanted no part of it, which, got me bitter at them. And you know what? After 2 or 3 years of being out, and I'm sure you guys will attest to this, it's not so much of getting up in the morning. I mean, obviously game day is great, right? Mm-hmm. You're out there, you get that feeling, fans are cheering for you, but you miss the guys. Oh yeah, right. That's what it comes down to. You miss the locker room. You miss hanging out with the boys. You miss going on road trips. And it's something that you'll never ever get back.
No, and that's another thing. What I loved about Ronnie is, getting up there and playing in years, 10, 11 years, and Ronnie kept saying, "Don't ever leave the game, guys. Don't ever leave the. Let them take their shoes from you. I'll never forget that. Let them
tear the
take your
jersey off your
shoes.
back.
Yeah,
You got it.
yeah.
Yeah, he
So,
said that usually when smoking about 6-7 butts.
Well, he used to stand right beside our lockers, the four of us there, and address the team at halftime. He smelled like an ashtray.
Remember, I was telling on the show we used to do the Our Father, and then my hands after would reek of butts for the whole game. I just stunk like butts. Like I was smoking nicotine. Oh, man. Listen, we can go on and on forever. We got to wrap this up here for a minute. I'm just going to give the fans and listeners one more chance here at what's happening. All you have to do is listen for the keyword. We will give a different keyword in every piece of content we create this week. So the more you listen, the more chances you have to win. Go to tiecats.ca/listen to win for all your contest details. This is Grey Cup week. It's in Hamilton. I'm jealous. I'm going to live through you guys. But I'm pumped about it. I'm sure you're pumped about it. It was great having you on, Grigger. We'll have to do it again. And who do you think's going to come to town from our set, our guys? Who do you think's going to roll in?
Chris Burns has already booked a flight.
Burnsy.
Yeah, Burnsy. Oh, yeah. Mike Campbell for sure.
Nice.
I don't know about Hacker. I reached out to Hacker there. I don't know. He's Jimmy lately.
Yeah. Trevor, T-Shaw's around, Jared Smith, all the locals.
I'm sure Jared Smith will be around. T-Shaw will be around for sure. There'll be a bunch of us, and not just the '99 team, but there's Stala.
Yeah.
There'll be a bunch of guys out and about.
Well, Gregor, I'm looking forward to having a couple of cocktails with you this week. And
Friday at where are we?
End zone.
The end zone.
End zone.
Yeah. So looking forward to see you, pal, and looking forward to get together with the guys and just talking like we're doing now. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Good. Okay, boys. Appreciate
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Listen, this is the Morreale and Hitch podcast right here on the Ticat Audio Network. David, are we good to go? What do you think?
No, not yet.
Well, I've been sitting here this whole show. I've been waiting for the keyword for my chance to win tickets to the Grey Cup.
What is the keyword? Nobody gave me.
Yes, I got it. I got it here.
Oh my God.
Dear God.
You did everything but the content.
You had the keyword the whole time.
It's in the same email that you have.
Where's the keyword?
Vegas.
Oh, right here.
Stupido.
I didn't read
He's
that
so
far.
stupid, Gregor. He's so stupid.
Hey, Dave, I feel sorry for you
Gregor.
having a pretty good day with these guys, I'll tell you.
Gregor, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna talk about for 5 more minutes.
Yeah,
buddy.
we'll wrap up.
See you
Later,
guys.
fella. All right, David. Okay, help us out here. I didn't read the whole email.
Okay, so let's do this. It's time for the keyword.
It's time for the keyword. Do you want me to read it, Rob, or should you read it?
No, I'll read it. It's time for the keyword to enter for your chance at Grey Cup tickets, as well as a round trip flight to anywhere Swoop flies. The keyword for this show, and we know a thing or two about this word, and it's Vegas.
Yes,
okay?
I love Vegas.
So go tiecats.ca/listen to win to enter for all your contest details. The tiecats.ca/listen to win and enter your keyword Vegas. Good luck and keep listening all week for more chances to win. That was pretty good.
That was good. Now, what's funny? Dave Cadeau writes this for us. Obviously, I didn't read the whole page, but I got through the first part, which was a pain in the ass, number one. Number two, the way that he writes tiecats.ca/ I just wish he wrote the actual www.tiecats.ca.
It's a little easier.
It would be easier.
It would.
Look at the guys you're expecting to do all this stuff. David Butko, what are you doing this week, bud?
I'm going to be at the convention center on the East Division floor, sitting there with Louis B. or who else wants to talk to anyone. They're just going to be grabbing people, and I'm sitting recording the interview and just putting it online. So every time I upload something, you have a chance to win 2 tickets to the Grey Cup and fly anywhere.
Every time, eh?
Every time. That's what I'm told, at least.
Nice. Keyword today?
I got to keep coming up with keywords. I got to just keep on.
Yeah. So Vegas, everybody. Hopefully all my friends are the only ones that listen to this, and yours, Meatsy, so they might win a chance. Who knows?
And hopefully Swoop adds 2 more flights to that, and you and I join them. I think that would be fantastic.
Hey, and before we get off of this, I just have to say that I went to the Bills game last night.
Oh, yeah.
First Bill game first Bills game I've ever been to, and I went with 10 degenerates in a limo, and we didn't get home till 20-2. We lost the guy.
Oh my God.
So bombed.
What do you mean you lost him? He didn't come home?
I'm not going to say his name, but he's a Canadian Tire owner in St. Catharines. We lost him, and one of our other buddies actually had a few in him. Went, and there's 80,000 people. It was debauchery. I've heard that
it's insane.
But we pulled into this parking lot, $150 US we had to pay to get in with our limo bus, and there was fires on the ground. People were there from the morning. Bombed. We were just in this one parking lot. It was first game. It was unbelievable to go to watch this thing, but we lost the guy, and he got found, and we got to the border. They didn't check our arrive can.
Come on.
They didn't check. Oh, I didn't want to end off. It was an experience. I won't go again, but yeah, I had to end off with that. But these guys were fun. These guys were a lot of fun. My buddies. Oh boy.
Well, listen, let's make this Sunday's Grey Cup just as fun. I think that, and guess what? No COVID test required. No border to cross. It'll be a good time. The Ticats, it's all laid out in front of you.
Go for it, boys.
Yeah, let's go for it. David Butko, listen, you'll be there holding down the fort. Please, do us proud. Do us proud.
I will.
Pre it up.
Yeah.
Pre it up for me and Rob and everyone else that's listening. This is the Ticats Audio Network and the Morreale and Hitch podcast. Have a great day. Go Cats, go.
Go Cats. Let's go.
Bye now.
Morreale and Hitch, dropping every Wednesday. Subscribe, like, laugh.